Now let us start up with the first chapter of physics, matter. Actually, what is matter? Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. And matter exists in three states. Matter can be solid, liquid, or gas. What is matter made up of? Matter is made up of elements. And what is an element? Element is defined as a substance that cannot be broken into further substances. So we call element as a pure substance which is made up of only single type of atom. Now element, the smallest unit of element is called atom. And what is atom? Atom is defined as the smallest unit of element that may or may not have an independent existence but always take part in chemical reaction. What do you mean by the statement that it may or may not have an independent existence? Elements are made up of metals, non-metals, metalloids, noble gases. Metals have an independent existence like your aluminium, copper, iron, but the non-metals do not have an independent existence. Non-metals cannot exist as atoms, but they exist as molecule. Iron exists as Fe. Aluminium exists as Al. But oxygen exists as O2 because it is made up of two atoms of oxygen. So non-metals do not exist independently. Then these atoms, two or more atoms, combine together to form a molecule. Now what is a molecule? It is defined as the smallest unit of matter that always has an independent existence and takes part in all the physical and carries away or takes part in the physical and has the chemical properties and the physical properties of the matter. Now molecule can be made up of two or more atoms of the same element, or it may be made up of different elements. As for example, if I say of the same element, I can give you the example of oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule is made up of two atoms of oxygen. Means it is having only oxygen atom. And if I tell you about the different elements, the example I can give you as water. So one molecule of water, whose chemical formula you know is H2O, is made up of two atoms, hydrogen and oxygen, having two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So in order to understand the movements of atoms and molecules in a substance, we have to study about the kinetic theory of matter. On the basis of the kinetic theory of matter, we can differentiate between the three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. So what are the main postulates or the main points regarding the motion of the particles in the matter? Now the first point is matter is made up of the tiny particles, or you can say atoms, that are always in continuous motion. And the second postulate is the kinetic energy of the particles or the atoms is directly proportional to the temperature of the substance. Directly proportional means if you increase the temperature of the matter, of the substance, the kinetic energy of the molecules also increases. Then the third postulate is molecules in a substance, they exert a force of attraction. They have a force of attraction for each other. And this force we call it as the intermolecular force of attraction. Intermolecular means the force in between the molecules of a substance. Then the fourth postulate is the intermolecular spaces. The gaps between the different molecules, or the spaces between the different molecules of a substance, we call it as the intermolecular spaces. And there is a relation between the intermolecular forces and the intermolecular spaces. And the relation is that the intermolecular force of attraction is inversely proportional to the intermolecular space. Inversely proportional means if the intermolecular spaces increases, the intermolecular force of attraction decreases. And if the space between the molecules decreases, the force of attraction between the molecules increases. Or in other words, you can say they are opposite of each other. So on the basis of the kinetic theory, we are going to study about the three states of matter. The first state is the solid. Molecules in the solids are very close to each other. Or you can say the intermolecular space is very less. So if the space is very less, the intermolecular force of attraction is very strong in solids. The intermolecular force of attraction does not allow the molecules in solids to move away from their fixed position. As the spaces are very less and the force of attraction is very strong in solids, so that is why it is difficult to break a solid. And thus, they have a definite shape, and solids are rigid, and they have a definite volume. As the intermolecular spaces are very less, hardly there is any space in between the molecules, so the solids cannot be compressed easily. And one more property of solid is that it cannot flow because of the force of attraction, which is very high. And due to the strong intermolecular force of attraction, they will expand very little on heating. So what are the main properties of solids we have studied? That the force of attraction between them is very high. So that is why the solids are rigid. And the spaces are very small. So they have a definite shape, they have a definite volume, and they are rigid. as the intermolecular spaces are very less, so they cannot be compressed easily. So I'm going to take up the properties of the other states of matter, that is liquid and gases, in my next video.